episode 2.
Welcome back, episode 2 of Those Music Nerds. I'm me, this is my son, he's he. We're going to talk about a few albums that we've been listening to over the past week or several days. And so there you go. This is a podcast that I'm sure hardly anyone's watching, but if you are watching, hope you enjoy it. Maybe we shed some light on some new music that you'll check out. We hope that you will, because, we're talking about this stuff because we really like it a lot. And some of the stuff you may already know about, some of the stuff you may check it out just for the heck of it and be like, that's terrible. Or you might already know about it and say it's terrible. That's cool, too. It doesn't really matter, because this is music we like. And so he's going to start it off. He's got a few albums he's going to talk to you about, and then I'm going to talk to you about a few albums, and then we will let you go.
So, as I said in the last episode, I was going to be talking about Negativland. This is the first album I'm going to be talking about. It is Helter Stupid by Negativland. It came out in 1989. It consists of 9 songs. The first 2 are a part of the Helter Stupid side, and then the rest of the songs are on the side titled The Perfect Cut. It is a very weird and kind of all over the place album, but if you like that kind of stuff, I think you would really like this album. It's like very ominous sounding, and it's pretty much like about murder and music type stuff, but I think you should really check it out. This is definitely like a Negativland classic. This gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah. The second Negativland album I'm going to be talking about is called 3, and it came out in 1993. This one has a little more structure to it, but they still have the weird songs like they usually do. But this album actually consists of actual songs, like stuff that they wrote and played, instead of like using samples like most Plunderphonics does. Songs like City Man, Truck Stop, Drip Drop, Crumpled Farm, Pig Digs Pep. There's a lot of really good songs on here. I mean, the weird ones and the normal ones. I mean, Pig Digs Pep is like, it kind of sounds, it might make you laugh, but I think it's a really cool song, and the Crumpled Farm song is just beautiful. It's a great album. You should check it out. The next album I'm going to be talking about is a Oneohtrix Point Never album called Garden of Delete. It came out in 2015, and as you know, Oneohtrix Point Never is one of my favorite artists. He is experimental. He makes amazing music. There's a lot of really awesome songs. There's a lot of epic songs on here, like Sticky Drama, Mutant Standard, Animals, I Bite Through It, Lift. Lift even has a guitar solo that Daniel Lopatin did himself, it's actually really good. There are some shortcuts on here, like Intro, Echo Jam C1, and SDFK, but SDFK is like a really cool song, even though it's like only 1 minute. Echo Jam C1 is a reference to his Vaporwave album that he did in 2010, Chuck Person's Echo Jams. It was like pretty much one of the first Vaporwave albums ever made. But yeah, it's glad to see he's kind of bringing back Echo Jams. It's a great album. I just absolutely love every song. The next album, if you're like a fan of electronic music and Plunderphonics, you'll consider this a classic, a certified life-changing classic. The Avalanche's Since I Left You in 2001. It's really cool. The samples were very well done. There's a lot of really good songs on here, like Since I Left You, Flight Tonight, Diners Only, and there's like a song, the 11th song, Tonight, is just kind of a beautiful song with these wavy record piano samples. It sounds really cool. It's a very relaxing album. It's even like an album that you could like dance to. I mean, it's a great album. It's a classic. And the last one I'm going to be talking about is a Negative Land album, Dyspepsy. And it came out in 1997. It's pretty much just a bunch of songs they wrote about Pepsi. That's like really all there is to say. And there's also, of course, you gotta have the weird stuff in a Negative Land album. Like the weird songs are "The Smile You Can't Hide," "Why Is This Commercial a Most Successful Formula?" Pretty much like after an actual song, there's like a weird one. My favorite songs that they played is Happy Hero and Aluminum or Glass. Because I think those are really cool rock songs, I guess. But it's still a very weird album. You should definitely check these albums out. I'm going to say them one more time just so you don't forget. Negative Land's Helter Stupid. Negative Land's Free. 106 Point Never's Garden of the Elite. The Avalanches Since I Left You, and Negative Land's Dyspepsy. All great albums.
And I've listened to all these this week as well. Some good stuff, some stuff that's a little hard to listen to. I mean, some weird stuff, but I think my favorites out of that would be the Avalanches and the 106 Point Never. The Dyspepsy Negative Land album's got some funny stuff on it.
Yeah.
Helter Stupid's got some pretty cool samples about the Manson family, Richard Ramirez, serial killers, and things like that. So pretty far out there stuff. So, I'm sporting the Dillinger Escape Plan shirt. He's sporting the Metallica shirt today. He's talking about pretty much electronic style music, and I'm mostly talking about metal. So there you go. We're a couple of weirdos. So my first one I'm going to talk about briefly. Some of these albums I haven't actually had a chance to listen to a lot yet because some of them are new ones that I've gotten, but I've checked this one out 2 or 3 times so far. This is Bossk, Audio Noir on Death Wish Records. Came out, I believe, in 2016. It was recorded in 2015. They're in the post-metal genre. This is their pretty much only full-length album. They've put out some EPs, demos, and things prior to that. And they're from the UK. And of course, Death Wish Records is Jacob Bannon, the singer for Converge's record label. So they put out a lot of really cool stuff. This has got 7 tracks on it. There's piano, violin, let's see. Yeah, so there's a lot of strings and piano and violin. There's even accordion on one of the songs. So there's some really pretty beautiful melodic passages and instrumental stuff on there. But there's also some really heavy stuff that comes with that post-metal kind of genre, that Neurosis sort of vibe. Very heavy. Kind of remind me, similar to Irrepress, closer to that than Neurosis, but definitely a good album to check out.
Whoever is watching this, say hello to the podcast puppy.
Podcast puppy. The next album I'm going to talk about is Gojira, From Mars to Sirius. This is a really, really good album. We got to see them live at Exit 111 Festival back in October of 2019, before the pandemic took over the world. They were an amazing live band, just outstanding, great visuals as well.
I second that.
This album came out in 2005 on Listenable Records. It's one of their earlier releases. Every track on here is amazing. There's some blues in here. I mean, there's some elements that are way out of the metal spectrum.
Wait, can I see the track list?
But overall, this is really brutal, heavy. I mean, it's, a lot of the heavy stuff reminds me of like old Morbid Angel type stuff. I think they were probably influenced by them with their earlier stuff. So a lot of the Morbid Angel-esque death metal elements on here, but there's some really cool stuff. There's some really cool guitar tapping and some more melodic stuff on here as well. And then there's even some elements, like I said, like kind of like bluesy and southern rock on one of the tracks. Really good stuff. Check them out. Great band.
I
from
thought
France.
that Flying Whales was on that album because that's a great song.
Yes.
That song is amazing.
Very good. I believe they played at least 1 or 2 tracks off this album when we saw them live.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they played Flying Whales.
Yeah, great stuff. The next one I'm going a little throwback. This album came out in 1998, the year after I graduated high school. This is on Immortal Records. Korn, Follow the Leader. This is one of the last really good Korn albums, in my opinion. I think their first 3 releases were really, really great for me. I like Issues and I like Untouchables that came out after this album, but that's about as far as I got after that. The commercial radio poppiness to their sound, they lost a lot of their edge, but this was really, really good album. Ice Cube, does some guest vocals, and Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, I could care less for that, but there's a guest appearance by Trey from The Far Side, and then of course Ice Cube, really cool. This was mixed by Brendan O'Brien, and if you're a Mastodon fan, that name will ring true because he has been a producer on some of the Mastodon albums. So great album. Freak on a Leash was their big hit. The first track on this album, though, It's On, is really good. Heavy. Got the Life was another big hit for them. Dead Bodies Everywhere. Children of the Corn, which has got Ice Cube on there. Man, it's some really good stuff on here. Heavy, but they were starting to kind of get more into the commercial radio mainstream, so you can kind of hear some of that on this album too, but they still kind of kept some of their heaviness on this album too. All right, the next one is Opeth. This is Sorceress. This is one of their newest albums. This came out in 2016 on Nuclear Blast. Anybody that's familiar with Opeth knows how much they've changed over the years. They used to be this progressive death metal band, part of the kind of the big 4 Swedish death metal bands. They've changed and progressed, pun intended, throughout the years, because this album is not metal at all. It's just basically an amazing prog rock album. It's just progressive all over it, and it's got some heavy elements, but more in the heavy rock sense. Some really heavy riffs, but just a outstanding progressive rock album. So if you like Opeth, this is a great one.
That was the album you were playing this morning, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And if you don't know who Opeth is, you need to check this out. And if maybe you're not even into metal, but you like progressive rock, this is it, man. I mean,
yeah, when he was playing that this morning, it was really good.
If you like Yes and King Crimson and Rush and Pink Floyd and Kansas, even Dream Theater, this is a great release for prog rock. And the final one, this is another kind of older one, Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache. I was listening to this one earlier today and within the last couple of weeks as well. This one came out on Roadrunner Records in 2004. This was probably like the pinnacle of Killswitch during the Howard Jones era when he was their singer. Some of the standout tracks on this, A Bid Farewell, When Darkness Falls, Rose of Sharon, The End of Heartache, the title track, World Ablaze. Really every track on this album, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. It's an epic. This album is outstanding. One of the best Killswitch Engage albums that they have put out for sure, if not the best. Just great from top to bottom. So those are my what's in my listening for the last few days, and the next episode we'll have some new stuff and some old stuff, and whatever it'll be stuff that we've been checking out within the short period of days or a week or two or whatever. So we appreciate it. If you've tuned in for our second episode, we will be back for the third episode possibly next week.
I'm probably going to be talking about, for the next episode, I'm most likely going to be talking about some more Negativland, Swans, and Grimes.
And I'll have probably a lot more metal, and who knows, maybe something in there that's not metal. But I'm on a metal kick lately, so we'll see ya.
Yeah.